Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful Wednesday, and welcome to the Minority Business Development Agency's virtual Subs and Sandwiches webinar with Block Companies. I am Marshette Turner, Director of the Houston MBDA Business Center. This is our 7th year offering our Subs and Sandwiches platform and our 2nd year with Block Companies. During today's webinar, all attendees will be in listen-only mode, but there will be a time for Q&A at the end of this session. My team member, LaTanya Mcgilbra, and I will be facilitating that portion of our time together. Of course, you can type your chat during the presentation, and they will be answered at the appropriate time. As a reminder, this presentation is being recorded. It will be available via email to all registered participants. We have our entire Houston MBDA team with us today, and I'm always excited about that. They are Ms. Jessica Vasquez, as our office manager, Deirdre Sutton, our business advisor, LaTanya Mcgilbra, our business advisor and alumni client engagement specialist, and Mr. Mark Praigg. Again, this presenter is Block Companies, and the event will be as follows. Block will give their names and then make their presentation. We will then have our Q&A. And lastly, we will conclude this webinar between 12:30 and 12:45 this afternoon. So I am going to now introduce the Block team members so that you can learn just a bit more about them. Ms. Deirdre Barrett has more than 20 years of brand marketing experience. She serves as the Director of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Marketing for Block Companies. She has overall responsibility for the expansion and implementation of DEI, corporate communications, and marketing strategy, including trade of organizations and governmental. Deirdre also manages the Minority Women Small Business Enterprise Outreach in collaboration with the compliance and project management teams. So we certainly welcome Ms. Deirdre Barrett of Block Companies. We have Ms. Amanda Leblanc, who serves as the Director of Compliance and Project Coordinator. Amanda is the Director of Compliance. Block Company follows MWSBE Section 3 and apprenticeship hiring standards on all Block affordable projects. That is extremely important for this particular webinar. Amanda also collaborates with internal and external teams to accomplish Block standards for economic empowerment in the municipalities in which Block builds. She is a valued leader and expert in federal labor, wage compliance, and reporting. She has over 10 years of affordable and compliance expertise. She is also a dog mom. She loves her dog, and of course, that is always a great thing. Then we have Mr. Adam, hold on, technology, something different. It went off my screen, but we will let Adam say a few words about himself. But I do apologize, Adam, for whatever reason I lost it. I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Deirdre Barrett of Block Companies. Deirdre?
Thank you so much to our dear friends at MBDA. We last spoke with you back in March of 2021. And at that time, Mark was there full time. We've maintained a relationship through Mark Praigg since Block has been in Houston since early 2020. So we want to say a big thank you for all of the support that MBDA has given Block Companies during our time as we work very hard in building affordable housing here in Houston. The Block team is here today to present building blocks to success. At Block, we like to say we build success. We bring the expertise and complexity of multifamily construction, and we bring commitment to teamwork and partnership. We support community engagement and outreach, and we are proud very proud to be a catalyst for impacting affordable housing here in Houston. So a little bit about our agenda today, which is up on the screen. It will flow as follows. I'll start with a presentation overview of Block companies, and it's important for you to know who we are, and we want you to know about our commitment to spread economic empowerment in communities where it matters. We share the many programs. We'll also share the many programs that underscore our commitment. Adam will share all of the great information that you're waiting to hear about our newest projects in Texas. And then Amanda will share certifications, the very important certification information, as well as the compliance process. She'll also discuss the City of Houston apprenticeship program along with Section 3 worker opportunities. So next slide. We are, most importantly, Block Companies is a multifamily builder. We are very proud of our extensive portfolio in multifamily construction. Success is what we have delivered since 2005. Currently, we are building in Texas, Georgia, and Louisiana. Block is nationally recognized, and we have an active license in 6 states. We are the winner of the prestigious National Excellence in Construction Pyramid Award. Our success is grounded in the Block Company mission toward providing superior construction solutions and unsurpassed professionalism. Whether the project is large scale, with innovative features, multiple stories, or on a podium, and/or with varying amenities, we are a multifamily builder. Next slide. We underscore, along with being a multifamily builder, that we are an affordable housing builder. About 95% of our jobs or in our work is in affordable housing. Houston ranks 1st in the state and 5th in the United States for having the most severe housing shortages. Block is committed to revitalizing Houston communities by providing practical and quality housing options. The need for affordable housing in Houston will likely increase. Next slide. We also want you to know that in order to build long-term sustainable relationships for our building projects, multifamily affordable housing projects, we are seeking to identify MWSBEs that have a track record of delivering quality work at competitive pricing to team with Block on our multifamily projects as we expand our Texas footprint. Block supports MBDA member success. Next slide. Underscoring our commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion at Block, we want to underscore again that we support small business ownership. Our vision for DEI is a workforce that reflects diversity in the communities in which we work, the communities in which we live, and the communities in which we serve and build. And our intention is to utilize a full spectrum of talent that exists in every community that we're in. We also want to encourage future leaders by offering internships, partnerships with vocational programs, as well as a long-term goal of ours is to work with K through 12 students as well, to continue to build the pipeline and the interest in the construction industry. Next slide. So our leadership in the community is ever present, where we do a tremendous amount of community outreach, where we are providing education on the bidding process, the minority supplier and contractor development process. We have multiple trade memberships and organizations that support minority business development. We also are award-winning in community engagement, coming in with the Majority Construction Firm of the Year. We also have programs that speak specifically to the Section 3 worker through our Gateway program, our Success Tier program, which speaks directly to Section 3 businesses, and then we'll hear about the apprenticeship program. Next slide. Just a quick peek under the tent, because Adam is going to give you all of the pertinent details, but the two projects that we're talking to you about today is Hughes House, which is the second phase in the historic Stop 6 neighborhood in Fort Worth, Texas, as well as Standard on the Bayou, which is a brand new project that we were just recently awarded here in Houston. So we want you to hear more about that in just a few minutes. Next slide. Okay, just an example of what you want to look out for from a marketing standpoint, advertising standpoint. When we go to market, we want to tell the world about what's going on with our projects. So you want to stay tuned to this advertising for Hughes, as well as the Standard on the Bayou. Next slide. We'd like to also point out that in our advertising, we make specific emphasis on the second page of the flyer, where we specifically hone in on all of the specifications that are offered in the project. And Adam will take you through that in just a minute. Next slide. So as we move into talking about targeting our subcontractors, bringing subcontractors on board, and the bidding process for our projects, it's important that we underscore again that we are all about multifamily construction, and we see the subcontractors that come to work with Block as a part of our family, and that we underscore and support teamwork through trust, and always focus on delivering the best product for our clients, our owner clients. Next slide. Where we want to highlight two of our contractors that have worked with us on McKee City Living. You have Ruben Ricardo featured there with Ibsen Contractors. Next slide. And Richard Mendoza with Rod Brace Construction worked as a framer on our Standard in the Heights project. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Adam Town, who is the Director of Pre-Construction for Block Companies and manages all of the estimating for our projects. So this is the guy that you're tuning into, you want to listen to, and you want to get his email address and his phone number so you can be in contact with him. Adam?
Thank you very much, Deirdre, and good morning again to everyone. We're excited. I'll reiterate what Deirdre said. We're excited to present to y'all what we have coming, and I'm going to be specific about it because that's what I work in, is specifics of the pricing, estimating of our projects. We have two projects kind of in the pipeline right now. One in Houston, Standard on the Bayou. It is a project that's in partnership with the Houston Housing Authority and a developer, Ohala Properties. We've worked with Ohala many times in the past. This is a tax-exempt job. So when you're submitting your bid, if you have materials, you would remove the cost of taxes from those materials, and in turn, we would give you a certificate so that when you buy your materials, you wouldn't pay taxes. It's a big job. It's 5 buildings, 1 3-story building and 4 4-story buildings with 431 units. It'll include amenities like a swimming pool and dog park and exercise facilities, along with leasing offices and a few other things. It's a total of 356,127 square feet and it's right here in Houston on Jensen Street. This job has just come to us. It's in the very, very preliminary stages. It probably won't be out to bid for another month to month and a half in that range, because the architects and owners are finalizing their plans. But it's an exciting opportunity. It's pretty normal construction process. It's slab on grade buildings on a flat site. There's no garage per se. Very accessible site, and it's just right there in the heart of Houston. We're very excited about it and excited about y'all's potential participation. Next slide. Hughes House, which Deirdre touched on a little bit more, is in Fort Worth and the Stop 6 Choice Neighborhood Initiative multi-phase renovation project. It's a very exciting, uplifting project, and we're excited to be working on it. We're working with a developer, McCormick Baron Salazar, out of St. Louis, and they are the largest affordable housing contractor in the United States. So they excel at this kind of work, and we're very fortunate. This is our third partnership with them, with anticipation of much more. Their goals are aligned with our goals as far as outreach and development of relationship with anybody and everybody that we can. And we're happy to offer this to you. This job has, as you can see, our advertising for it. To the right is our front sheet, which describes the bid dates. It's bidding in 2 phases. The first phase is a single scope phase having to do with dirt work, and then phase 2 and 3 are the actual project itself. The left-hand side of the slide is it's kind of hard to see, but it's a description by scope of the work involved in the job. As you can see, it's colored, and those color assignments are with our specific block estimators. We have a team of people to work on jobs this size, and to say this is a $60 to $70 million job. It's a very large job. And to back up, that Standing on the Bayou is actually a $70 to $75 million job. So you can see the scale, and the possible opportunities are huge for just about anybody who's in the construction business or construction services type of business. Next slide, please. All right. So this is building blocks, and this is a big part of our estimating process. You know, when we connect with you through the bidding process, and you know, you need to learn more about it. You need some help. We want to offer you that help, not just specific to the job, but just in general about what's required to bid on and work on these kind of jobs, this scale of work, and be competitive in the market, bidding for other contractors. This is the potential to help you across the network, not just with block construction, but with any other subcontractor you might be bidding with. Next slide. One of the big important parts of you being a successful bidder and us helping you is completing our subcontractor information form. It helps us get to know you. It helps us get to know how we can help you if necessary. And it just gives us a good basis of information. Things that are important to us, like, do you have multifamily experience? That doesn't eliminate you. This doesn't disqualify anybody. It just helps us build an amount of information about you that we can in turn use to help you. We're going to have this form on our website. It's there actually now, but the links are not set up yet. So in all of our bid packages, this is, along with our instructions to bidders, this is first and foremost for every subcontractor to complete. Next slide. This is kind of an example of it, and it is background, safety, certifications, how and if you comply with any of the MWBE compliance necessities or requirements. I need to use the right term. What your schedule is, if you have the ability to bond, banking and references. It's pretty standard stuff, and we want to help you with it. So it's important for you to do it right away, get it back to us so we can develop any questions and comments that we can help you with. Next slide. What should I do now to prepare? So you just heard me talk about the subcontractor information form, which you're welcome to go to our website and fill out, even though you haven't bid on anything. We'll get it and we'll contact you, and we'll make sure you're added to our list of bidders. Second, on the minimum insurance and bonding requirements that we have. Again, you can contact us through our website. We can issue those insurance requirements that are kind of industry standard, and to help you comply with that requirement. We can identify a compliance liaison from your company and assist you in becoming certified with the City of Houston if you are not yet certified with the City of Houston. And we can advise your vendors and suppliers that you'll be asking for quotes. We can help you get a profile set up on iSquareFoot. Excuse me for talking fast if I am. iSquareFoot is our web-based bid document platform. This is where we send invitations to bid, which include instructions and all of the bid documents for your access, and it doesn't cost anything. It's free to you. But it's important that you set your profile up correctly and that we get you connected to our bids. And then we also obviously have we have a pre-construction team, and those are the people that'll be helping you with items 1 through 5, of course. And you need to get to know your what's involved in multifamily construction and affordable housing. There are a significant amount of governmental requirements when you deal with affordable housing through HUD, but they're just things you need to understand and learn how to do. They're not impossible. They're not barriers to your success. Next slide. The bid package, once you've gotten all started in our process and you're issued a bid package, obviously it's very important for you to read, review, and discuss with us any questions and download all of the documents I discussed. They're all outlined and right there, but they need to be reviewed because they're all critical to being awarded the job, is the understanding of all the documents. And we can help you, of course, being prepared for the scope of work you bid. And you may do something that you don't see is directly detailed in the scope of work, but it's something we need to do. So reach out to us and ask. And if it's a possibility to insert you into the job, we'll be glad to try. We're a team of subcontractors and suppliers building our work, where Block manages the work. We don't self-perform very much, so we need your help, and we're looking for your help. And of course, you have to submit in a timely fashion, because we work on deadlines based on the owner's deadlines, based on the government's deadlines. So you have to be timely in order to be successful. Next slide. Okay, so I discussed iSquareFoot with you. This is an easy website to get to, and you can create your profile without our help. You don't need us to do this. And a lot of contractors use iSquareFoot. So getting yourself into this network will do just that. It'll expand your opportunities. Next slide. So this is what to expect when the bid is announced. You'll get a bid package and a due date. You'll get that through our invitation to bid. As I said before, no cost. And you get ready to attend a pre-bid meeting where we will give you more intimate details about the project. And then look forward to hearing back from us. We will communicate with you to the very best of our abilities. We're committed to staying in touch with you. Next slide. Here's some notes specifically about the pre-bid conference. Why should you attend? To learn more details about the jobs, to understand what Block's expectations are, to make sure that you can meet them, to get more clarity about specific details for the job. And you'll hear directly from us, and you'll get a real sense of what we're looking for in your bid submission. Next slide. So this is just kind of to let you know that there are specific trades where you have to have prior multifamily experience. It's very job specific, and this framing, sheetrock and finishing, painting, is a mechanical, which is air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, and sprinkler, just some of the examples. But I will say this, if you're in the sheetrock business or the painting business and you've never done multifamily work, we'd still like to talk to you because we want to create more people in this industry. So it may be that you're totally capable and prepared to work in the multifamily industry. You've just been a commercial painter. We can help you along the way. So don't even let this exclude you from anything. Next slide, please. So this is very important, and this is for your protection and your success, is that we don't share your pricing with anyone else's. We don't share anyone else's pricing with you. You're protected. We're going to help you, and we're not going to. We're just on the up and up. My old dad told me one time the easiest way to not have to remember anything is to tell the truth. And if you keep everybody's secrets for them, then you don't have to ever remember what you did, because it's easy to tell the truth again. So we trust you, and we want you to trust us. So we just want to let you know that. Next slide. So this is an important step, especially with the current marketplace and long durations of our work. You have to get in contact with your vendors and suppliers and get pricing for the materials you need to perform your work. And we have to kind of hold that pricing to, you may not be performing your work to the very end of the job, and that may be a ways down the road. But we have to be confident in the price that you give us, because we give it on to the owner, and we're held to those. So there's escalation in the current marketplace. So we just all have to prepare for that, but we're going to help you with that. You're going to get pricing, and we're going to make sure you have the safeguards in place to where you're in good shape when the job comes to you. Next slide. So this is just another little overview, a checklist for completing the bid package. It is important for the subcontractor to review all the addenda and project reports and notifications. This is just standard for working in our business, and the schedule, and that goes back to when you're going to arrive at the job and perform your work. So those are very important factors in your bidding. Next slide, please. Another thing that makes you a viable bidder and subcontractor or supplier is what our projects specifically demand. And they're large-scale projects. Now, your job might not be large-scale in particular, but you have to have the manpower to accomplish the work, and you have to have the management resources in place to manage your manpower. We have management on site, obviously, but each subcontractor is required to have his own site management. So that's an important factor. You have to be able to communicate real well, but that's easy in this day and age with email, text messages, and obviously cell phones. That's something we encourage, and it's vital to success. And I think you'll enjoy it too. The more communication, the better, as far as staying on track and on time. Of course, your certifications with the City of Houston, and your insurance, which we've talked about, and the compliance acknowledgement form is a document where you acknowledge that you're compliant with the City of Houston, and signing your bid proposal. Next slide. So this is a general timeline of the bid process. We've talked about all this pre-bid work that you're going to need to do in order to be successful. And then you'll submit your bid. And of course, we'll respond to you automatically that thank you very much for bidding, and we appreciate your hard work. And then estimating and compliance, we'll take your bid and we will evaluate it. And then the estimating team, after they review your bid, will respond to you. You've been successfully shortlisted, or your bid was unsuccessful, or you've been awarded. There's lots of variations here, but those are just the three general things. We either we may be on to further evaluation with the owner, and so you've been shortlisted, or unfortunately your bid wasn't complete, or your price was not appropriate, or hey, you've got the job. Thank you very much. Here is your letter of intent indicating that you've been awarded. Next slide. All right. It's on to Amanda Leblanc, who will probably be more entertaining than me. Thank y'all very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Adam. Okay, so very quickly, we're going to run through some of the compliance that's going to be on these two projects. I know that you've heard a lot, so I'm going to try to get through it quickly. This is the public project bidding. Public construction projects are awarded to bidders who qualifies to the requirements and specifications of the project and to possess the skills or resources to fulfill it. And it offers the lowest responsible bid among other bidders. Next slide. What you can expect from Block is that you will receive 2 follow-up letters, kind of like Adam was just saying. The first will be a thank you for submitting your bid to let you know that we've received it and our estimating has it. Your second one will either be a shortlisted or an unsuccessful. The response window will vary from 2 weeks to 2 months. It just depends on how long estimating takes to go through all the bids. These are large projects, so it could be closer to 2 months or more. If you are awarded the contract, we will send you a congratulations. We look forward to you joining the Block family of the project, and we'll also have ongoing communication with you. This will all come once you've submitted your bid, we've returned phone calls, you've been responsive and responsible, and you've responded to the estimators in a timely manner. Next slide. Both of these projects will have certified payroll, the Davis-Bacon wage rates, the general wage decision. If you hire or outsource an employee to handle all of your certified payroll and compliance forms, don't forget to include that in your bid. With Fort Worth, there is something called B2G Now. This is going to be on the Hughes House project. You will input all of your payments. We will put our payments to you. You will get in and approve those, and then input your payments to your subcontractors. This is typically done in a 30-day window. It's very simple. It sends you an email every month. It's something you have to remember to do. There may be additional monthly documentation requirements that are on this project. As of right now, this is the main form is certified payroll. And typically these are done through LCP Tracker. Very simple platform. Next. OSHA 10 is not required on these two projects. However, Block always likes to bring it up and just say that we recommend you get your subcontractors at least an OSHA 10 card. In the city of Houston, these are required. However, for these two projects, they are not. Next slide. Insurance is very, very important. We do have a sample that goes out with our insurance, with our ITBs through iSquareFoot. You must have all of our insurance requirements to be on the project. Next slide. All subcontractors must carry the minimum insurance requirements. If you don't currently have the following insurance requirements, you can contact your insurance agent for the cost to increase your limits to the required limits. This is no out-of-pocket cost to you. This is something that your insurance company should do as an estimate for you for the bid. So if you have to raise a price or raise your limits and that costs you money, you put that additional cost to get those requirements into your bid. You don't have to come out of pocket for any of that. You just input it into your bid when you send it to our estimating, and we take all of that into consideration. Subcontractors coverage must also be as broad. So if you are to hire a lower tier sub, their insurance should also match our requirements. Our acceptance of a certificate with deficient coverage does not constitute a waiver of any coverage requirements. So just keep that in mind as well. Next slide. These are our requirements. It's $1 million in occurrence and $2 million in general aggregate. Products and completed operations aggregate also $2 million. Whenever you get your sample, we also give a list of exactly what's required that you can send to your insurance agent and say, this is what they need. Your insurance agent will understand it. I know a lot of times insurance can be confusing, even to me, and I see it every day. It still gets a little confusing. So just take our samples and send them to your insurance agent, let them know what you need. They'll send it back to you with everything that you need in an estimate. Workers' comp is also $1 million. And then you must have automobile liability at $1 million. A lot of people don't have automobile liability. However, on a multifamily large construction site, it's very important that you have automobile. And we do not waive any of these requirements. Next slide. Umbrella liability has to be at $1 million. Also, we don't waive those. These are large projects. These are large contracts. So we will have $1 million umbrella liability. Next. Performance and payment bonds. So the difference is a performance bond is a form of insurance compensating block if the subcontractor fails to complete the project. However, a payment bond insures against the risk of the subcontractor not paying their subs or vendors. So performance bond is if the subcontractor or their lower tier subs fail to complete their portion of the project, we have that backup. And then a payment bond is if you fail to pay your subs and they lien the project, we have a payment bond to cover that. This is not required for every trade, every scope, or every contract, but typically large contracts do require 100% performance and payment bonds. More details on that will also be in the ITB once they send them out. Next slide. Okay, so this is the contracting goals for Fort Worth. Anytime we do governmental work, we have goals that we have to meet. They are monetary goals. So 20% of our full contract amount will go to minority construction contracts, which are on-site subcontractors. And 5% will go to women-owned construction contracts. And actually, I think these numbers have gone up this year, so we may be hiring even more. Section 3 now has a labor hours requirement, where 30% of our labor hours on the entire project, which is a very large project, so that's going to be a lot of labor hours, are required to go to Section 3 workers within the community, which here at Block, Deirdre can say we love reaching out in the community. We hire community workers on all of our projects. So with the labor hours goal rather than the construction contract goal, it actually brings out a lot more workers, a lot more opportunities for workers. So those are something to keep in mind. If you're put on this project, we'll also ask that if you have any hiring goals that you will hire within the community or the Section 3 workers that live within the Fort Worth area. Next slide. Next slide. With Fort Worth, to be an MWSBE worker, an MWSBE business in Fort Worth, there are 3 certification entities that you have to go through. So we have the Women's Business Council Southwest, the Dallas Fort Worth Minority Supplier Development Council, and the North Central Regional Certification Agency. NCTRCA is typically the easiest to get. It's the one that we recommend to everyone. That's the one that 90% of our businesses within Fort Worth have the certifications through. If you want to become certified in any one of these 3 agencies, you just reach out to our compliance department here at Block, compliance@blockcompanies.com. You can put that in the chat, and we'll help you get started on this. In the city of Houston, you will have to be certified through the city of Houston, which is also very simple, and I can help you get that certification as well. These three are specific to Fort Worth, and we like to point these out just because they are specific to Fort Worth. And since Hughes House is going to be in Fort Worth, these will have to be the certifying agencies that you have your certifications through. Next slide. In the city of Houston, we have, excuse me, an apprenticeship program. We like to use apprentices on all of our projects. However, our consultant at Waterman Steel has helped us start our own apprenticeship program. And our apprenticeship program helps employers recruit and develop highly skilled workforce that grows your business and ours. It improves productivity, profitability, and employers' bottom line. It creates flexible training options that ensure workers develop the right skills. And it minimizes liability costs through appropriate training of workers. We do have an in-house apprenticeship program that we welcome anyone to call and ask about. What happens when you get awarded a project or awarded a contract on a block project. We will ask you, do you have anyone that, even workers that work for you now, would you like to put them through an apprenticeship program? We will help you get them set up through our apprenticeship program with Waterman Steel, and we will utilize them in all of our projects. Next slide. With the apprenticeship program, if you decide to start your own apprenticeship program through your company with the Department of Labor, you can receive tax credits and employment tuition benefits in participating states. Increase retention of workers during and following the apprenticeship program. Those are requirements for a workforce solutions apprenticeship program. Those do not have to be, those are not requirements to come through Block's apprenticeship program. And for more information, Angel Johnson with the Waterman Steel Group is who heads up our apprenticeship program. So if you would like more up-to-date information on our apprenticeship program, please let me know and I will have her reach out to you. Also, once we send the ITB out, we'll also send more up-to-date apprenticeship information. Next slide. The easiest way, I know that whenever you look at compliance and all of the requirements that these projects hold, it can get a little overwhelming. The easiest way to go about it is to identify a compliance liaison through your company, someone that can understand the compliance reporting requirements, review your capacity for compliance, and then complete the compliance forms required. This is a person that our compliance company would stay in touch with constantly throughout the life of the project, someone that can really, it's hard to have someone from your field staff filling out paperwork every day. So it's easier to have your compliance liaison, someone that we can contact daily or weekly or monthly to have these items done and updated. Makes the paperwork a lot easier for your company. Next slide. And I'm gonna pass it back to Deirdre so she can close us all out.
All right, thank you, Adam, and thank you, Amanda. And on behalf of Block Companies and Adam and Amanda, we would like to say thank you for joining us today and hearing about Block's new projects and about our approach to bidding success. We also want to underscore our commitment from the top to the job site. And so on this screen, you see our managing partner, Jason Keller of Block Companies, our senior partner, Stephen Keller, and then PJ Simpson, our vice president of operations and the junior partner, underscoring our 100% commitment throughout the bidding process here at Block. Next slide, please. And this is our subcontractor support team that you heard from 3 of us today, but we also have other folks at Block that are waiting to assist you in the bidding process on these projects now and projects to come in the future. So again, on behalf of Block, I will turn it back over to MBDA. I do want to remind you of 2 important dates. On tomorrow, we are having a pre-bid virtual meeting on January 20th at 1 p.m. And we will, you have our information there on the screen, and I'm happy to put contact information in the chat so that we can email you the link so that you can join us on the call if you'd like to attend the pre-bid meeting. And that'll be the pre-bid meeting for Hughes House in Fort Worth. I'll turn it back over to MBDA for the Q&A portion. Thank you.
Thank you all so much, Block Companies. Adam, you were not boring at all. You gave a lot of great information. So thank you again for that. And again, I do apologize for losing your bio. And we do have a couple of questions. I see one in the chat. What separates a successful subcontractor with block companies from one with struggles? And that's to any of you who can answer that question. What separates a successful subcontractor with block companies from one who struggles?
I'll be glad to take this one. So the most common item that I see that creates a struggle for subcontractors is not bidding a complete scope. You know, all of the items like compliance and insurance and all the other requirements, we can work those out. But before we can use you as a successful bidder and award you the job, we have to be confident that you have bid the job correctly and understand what your requirements are. And I would say that's the biggest struggle for subcontractors in general, is not bidding the correct scope. And we're here to help you do that. So we want to help you do it. So that's what I would say is the biggest struggle.
Thank you so much, Adam. Tanya, are there other questions?
There are a few questions here. I think we touched on them briefly, but just for the sake of clarity, one of the questions is, I see isquare.com indicates there's a free demo. Is this the only way to get your projects to bid?
Okay, that's a great question. We actually advertise, as Deirdre so clearly stated, in many legal forms and through many associations in the city of Houston and beyond. I Square Foot is where we put all of our documents. So you can always come to our office in Houston and we can have plans and documents there for your review. It's a cumbersome way to do it, but it's certainly there for you if you're not comfortable with I Square Foot. And you can submit your bid by hand, fax, email, any way you want. I Square Foot is just the most convenient, comprehensive way we communicate with subs and suppliers. But you're not limited to that. You just have to reach out to us individually, and we'll have to work something out.
If I may jump in here, I would suggest signing up for I Square Foot, if for no other reason, to find what the bidding opportunities are in general, not just for block companies, but it's a great way to find out what other companies are looking for too. Not just block companies, but a whole host of companies use I Square Foot to announce their projects.
Yeah, I want to
Great
add to
point,
that as
Mark.
well. If you use I Square Foot, when we send out plans to bid, anytime there's a change or an addendum or anything is added to the plans, it goes through I Square Foot. It automatically sends you an email, so you never miss anything. You'll never miss an addendum. You never miss a change. It's an easy way to keep up with everything.
That was a great
Here's the
point, Mark.
question.
Thanks
Thank you for that answer.
pointing that out.
We are a family-owned remodeling company in Houston. I am interested in expanding into multifamily. I see. I can't see the rest of it. Let me see here.
Okay. Or we can
I'm
go
almost
to the
there. Let me
next
see.
one.
I see that many slides make comments regarding having previous multifamily experience. Does this include the bidder? And since most of my subs do have multifamily and commercial experience.
I'll take this one too.
Okay.
So there's some categories where we require experience in multifamily construction. And then there's many categories that are not necessarily, where that is not necessarily a requirement. I don't want to get into specifics right now, but if whomever is asking that question would call me, I'd be glad to discuss their potential opportunities specifically. They're not, just because they haven't worked in multifamily doesn't mean they can't. And we'd love to talk to them about it. Just got to figure out what scopes of work it is that they're interested in doing before I could truly answer that question. So that's more of a one-on-one, which I'm happy to do.
Thank you, Adam. Here's another question. Hello, and thank you for hosting this webinar. Can you please provide the name of the Houston
Opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I didn't see post-construction cleaning listed as one of the trades in the presentation. Is this a service that you all look for on your ground up and remodel projects?
Absolutely. Construction cleaning is a vital part. So yes, we do, of course.
And the name of the Houston opportunity again?
It is Standard on the Bayou is the name of the apartment complex. It's like I said, it's not out to the public yet. The plans are being finalized, but we know it's coming. We have been awarded, so it's coming from Block. It's just hasn't quite hit the street yet. That's why we want you to get on I Square Foot and get in our system and go on our website and get started preparing for it. And we're going to be moving fast.
Another question is, which 6 states are you guys licensed in?
Louisiana. I'll start west to east. Block was started and founded in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we have an office in Houston, which is where Jason Keller is housed, and it's kind of the center of our operations now, although most of our back house is still in Baton Rouge. We're licensed in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina. So basically the southeastern United States.
And then the last question I see is, how do you go about hiring your community?
I'll let Deirdre answer that.
I didn't hear the last half of the question.
How do you go about hiring your community workers?
Oh, community workers, or the Section 3 workers. Yes. So you can reach out to me. I'm the gateway for really soliciting and finding the workers. And then I pass along the resumes to the project manager and the superintendent responsible for that job site. So I would strongly encourage, I'm getting ready to put my email in here. Send me an email with your information, and I'll also put my phone number.
We also have job fairs.
Yes, we do. We do. We have job fairs, and we'll be having one. I don't have a date for the next one in Houston, but it'll likely be in the next, few months or so for the Houston projects. And we'll be planning one in Fort Worth late spring, more than likely. But the best way, go on and reach out. I just put my email. Reach out to me. Let me know of your interest as a Section 3 worker. Of course, you have to be certified in the city of Houston. Amanda can tell you more about that. And there are, certain requirements that need to be met. But we do have what we call a gateway program on all of our job sites. We have Section 3 workers that Block hires directly for gatekeeper, laborer, job site assistant. Let me put my cell
Tanya, do
phone.
you have any further questions? That was it for me.
I do. Are you all going to need any assistance with web, PR, or communications for any of the projects?
You can reach out to me on that again. We're pretty much a one-stop shop now. We do use a graphic artist to work with us, but certainly reach out and talk to us about what you'd like to offer.
Deirdre, would they reach out to you directly, because we're receiving a lot of questions about your other construction services? So would they reach out to you directly, or is there a list where they can identify if their services would be needed?
Adam will have to help me out with this. When they're saying other construction services, or these folks that are suppliers, where they may not see their spec on the second page of the job site flyer. What?
I'll jump in on that.
Okay.
When we have a job to bid, we have a job specific email address, and it'll be in all of the marketing for Hughes House. It's Hughes House Estimating at blockcompanies.com. It's listed on all of our marketing, and that is a great conduit into the company. You're not sure who to email, because that's going to go to someone who's assigned to open the emails, decide who gets them, and forward them to them. So the right person will be answering your question. You'll get to your answer quickly through using that. You can always go to the website if there's not a job to bid currently, but you want to get an answer, or just contact me, and if I can't answer your question, I'll direct you to it. But the odds are I can probably answer your question about scope specific. So.
Okay, here's a question. My company is Segovian's company, HVAC services. Can I get subcontracts in construction HVAC?
We'd love to talk to you. Absolutely.
And then we provide roll-off dumpster rentals. As a vendor, would we go through the same process as any other subcontractor?
Absolutely. That is a line item on the scope descriptions for roll-off dumpsters, and we have them on every job. So absolutely, that qualifies.
So just to reiterate what Adam said a few minutes ago, Hughes House at blockcompanies.com is a great way to start the dialogue with the estimating team. And even if you are not particularly interested in pitching, bidding on a project in DFW, go on and reach out to us, because we will keep you and get you on the bid list for subsequent projects. You tell us you're interested in the Houston projects, we'll already have you in place to send out information to you on the Standard on the Bayou project. Okay.
Was that it, Tanya?
Looks like it is on my end.
Don't see any further questions here. So again, let me say thank you to company, Amanda, to Adam, and to Deirdre. Thank you so much. I want to thank Mr. Keller. I don't know if he is logged on or not, but thank you so much. I have been receiving the emails, and so thank you for that. Again, this is Block Companies. They've given you great information on how to reach them, how to be a part of the Block family, and how to start the entire bidding process with them. So utilize that information, visit their websites, call them on the numbers that they gave you and the emails that they provided. And we look forward to our next Subs and Sandwiches next Wednesday. So thank you all so much.